Hey team, I want to talk a little bit about my sort of post-cancer journey. It is today or tomorrow or yesterday. When it's 9 years out, it's hard to remember the exact date. I was having my lumpectomy to remove the cancer and consider myself cancer-free. So I'm kind of thinking it must have been October 2nd because October 3rd, there's a post that says I'm cancer-free. And I don't think I would have said that the day before my surgery. So that was 9 years ago. 10 is sort of that hugely magic number. The first magic number is 5. The next magic number after that is 10. So I'm coming up on that. Pretty exciting. And it will be 10 years in my 60th birthday year. So I'm turning 59 this year and 60 next year. And I'm planning some fun things for 60. Not a big party because we're not really people who like to have big parties. More like a trip of some kind. So I came on to talk about this because I think there are a lot of people who are dealing with cancer. There are a lot in my world, and I want you to know my heart's with you. There are also a lot of people who are really suffering now in Tennessee, Western North Carolina, and Florida. While my family wasn't directly affected, there were some things. Actually, the apartment building my parents live in Florida has very big flooding in the downstairs area. And it's going to require a lot of work to get it back up and running. And so they have opted to stay in Fenwick Island for a while longer, which is great because fall in Fenwick is just gorgeous. And I don't have to worry about them because I know they're safe and sound and they just want to stay out of the way. There was question and concern about where my mom's car was parked. It is safe and sound and fine. There's nothing wrong with the car, thank goodness. Some did not make it, as many of you know. As this all goes, we're very blessed as a family to not have had anything really horrible happen. I don't know about all of you. I really find it heart-wrenching to watch the videos coming out of Western North Carolina. It is just, and more, it's the comments. Can we all just vow to be a little bit better people and recognize that that situation was completely 1,000-year storm, unfathomable devastation? They didn't have time. There was very little time to evacuate, if any. And the evacuation notice came at like 2:00 in the morning or something crazy, insane like that. I don't know about you all, but things I'm doing at 2 a.m., I'm not so on my game. And how do I know this? Because at 4:45 a.m., when we were in Munich, Germany, my alarm clock went off. I thought it was my alarm clock. It was not my alarm clock. It's actually on my phone. And I have a new phone. So I thought, oh, that's the worst alarm you could ever set. That sounds just like a fire alarm. Well, it was. And we had to evacuate the building. And my daughter and I thought that it was a terrorist attack because we had been the Vienna Taylor Swift concert had been canceled, and so we just went to that. Unfortunately, we just must have had some underlying trauma from that situation, and you can store trauma in your cells, meaning your body. So we thought that. My husband thought it was a smoke alarm, which is what it was. But Callie and I were walking out of there looking for snipers, and we ended up in the garage. We couldn't get out the emergency door, and then finally someone was able to get the emergency door open, and we were able to get outside and be fully evacuated. A lot of people standing in the doors of their rooms just hanging out, like and in fairness, if you say, well, people don't speak German, that announcement was made in like 6 different languages. So you had to have had one of them. I mean, it would be pretty unusual not to have caught one of them. There was definitely German, Spanish, English, and I assume what was Chinese. I'm not very good at it. My daughter spoke it for a little while, but I'm not very good at Chinese. So I can only kind of just recognize it might have been that. So at any rate, my point is emergencies happen. And as we were leaving, we were scrambling to find stuff. and for the person who's coming on now, I'm talking about this summer in Munich, Germany, when we were evacuated due to a fire alarm going off. So, and I'm saying that I hear people making a lot of comments saying, well, people should have evacuated. They should have known. They should have gotten out. Well, in Western North Carolina, people didn't know and they didn't have much time. And honestly, when you're hearing that alarm, you're just grabbing whatever. I went out literally with like pants and a sweatshirt pulled over my pajamas and left everything behind. I think in my purse, my husband had his wallet. We left with just the most important stuff, but because we were leaving that morning anyway, the passports were already packed and my husband didn't know they were packed. So, no, we went out without passports, even though they specifically said to take your passport. Oh my God. Thank goodness it was just a smoke alarm and it wasn't a big deal. But what people are going through in the Carolinas is really, in Tennessee and in Florida it's not good. There's a lot of cleanup and Western North Carolina is just, it's heartbreaking. So I would think that people in my world are not making these kinds of negative comments. If you are, please stop. It's very upsetting to see what's happening out there and to see how people are reacting to it. And the other thing, let's just like not make this crap political, okay? Like people are suffering, people have died, people who are living are finding people who are dead. It is awful. So I'm just going to ask nicely on this, my 9-year cancerversary, 9 years cancer-free, that we all show a little kindness, a little respect. If we don't really know something about it, maybe the best thing is to keep scrolling or to just say, I hope you're doing better. Or how can I help? And I did a post originally from my friend Patrick Hamilton to ways you could donate. Because right now, we can't really be there and be helpful because we're just going to get in the way. It's a really bad situation. So we can donate. If you have a little money and feel comfortable doing that, I would love for you to do that as well. I donated to something called, I think it was the Horseshoe in because I read up on them and what they're doing. And it's a really grassroots couple of restaurants that have gotten together and they're pulling food and water and cooking for people so that people get a hot meal each day. When we were living in Silvermine in Norwalk in, I don't know what year, Callie was like 4. So about 15 years ago, there was a massive winter storm, ice storm. And because there had been so much rain, the ground was super saturated and people lost electricity for days. I mean, I knew people who had lost electricity for over a week. I think we lost electricity for 4 days. And that meant we had no running water, no electricity, no heat. And it was winter and it was bloody cold. And our house got, I think, down to 48 degrees. We were sleeping with hats on, sweatsuits, 5 blankets. And we wanted, Callie was so little, we didn't want her to have to deal with all that. So we had her stay the night at a couple of different houses. People pitched in to help us out so that she had places to stay. We lived near family, so that was great. And they helped out and we got a hot meal each day because we went to my mother-in-law's and God bless her, she cooked for us each night, which was awesome. And we were really, really lucky in that way. Our basement did flood, a couple inches of rain. And my husband knows people in the trade because he's a landscape architect. So he was able to borrow a gas-powered pump. And we were pumping the water. I should not say he was doing it. It was a massive, huge, horrible job. And only a few weeks earlier, he had broken a rib. So it was kind of intense. And each night after work, so we would go in the morning, take our showers at the gym, go to work. And then we'd come home and spend several hours cleaning up. I'd get our daughter, have dinner. And then spent several hours each night taking everything out of the basement and putting it on towels in the living room. It was the only open space we had where we could put everything, like shove furniture up against the wall. And it was pretty intense. And that was only 4 days. People in the Carolinas right now in Tennessee and Florida are on day 7. So, and you might say, oh, well, they're warm and you weren't. Well, you know what? Heat isn't a cakewalk either. So Um, if there's anything you can do, I'd really appreciate it. This is a very personal video today. This is a businessy kind of video. But that's where my heart is. And the last thing I'm going to say is, for years I've been saying, let's go to the Biltmore, let's go to the Biltmore, let's go to the Biltmore. It hasn't happened. I don't think it'll be happening anytime soon because everything in that area is a mess. So our visions of maybe going out to the Carolinas, literally this coming summer, 2025, are not going to happen. The other thing on the bucket list, because we're trying to stay kind of close to home, is a cruise kind of deal up to Canada along the coast, like Prince Edward Island and whatnot. So that's kind of what I'm in the early stages. I haven't really planned any of this yet, but that's kind of what we're looking at for this summer, because we want to stay out of the way. The work there is going to be really long. I mean, I saw something where they said the road isn't going to reopen until September 2025, one of the roads. So anything you can do to help people who are suffering is awesome. If you are one of the people suffering, my heart is with you. I'm sorry for your losses. I know they've been tremendous. And I really just couldn't let it pass by, mostly because I want people to treat each other with respect and kindness. It's just kind of my thing, right? So that's all I've got on my, like I said, 9-year cancer-free anniversary. I'm grateful to be here. I'm grateful to be here with you. And I'm going to head off and prep for my next client. I'm coaching clients today. I hope you have an amazing day. I hope you will spread kindness with you, kindness to others. I'm not sure what kindness with you. I'll share kindness with you. You share kindness with others. Maybe that's where I was going. Have an amazing day.